Jack's making the smart decision of making sure he takes advantage of every little small magic potted along the way. It's like some things we've seen some players burn to bin in the past is just some micro resource management issue. Not planning for it's like the eventual need to use like the magic, not gathering enough arrows along the way.
Yeah. It always helps to have that little knowledge of which pots can give you what resources.
Rex is gonna make its way over to K45, clip back up to Checkerbird Cave, and end at Agina. Decides to go for those bombs anyway, so go ahead and top off. Nice little dash club at that slope right underneath K45, let you hop back up to this edge for a nice convenient fast clip back up here.
Just some arrows in the checkerboard cave. So we'll see what Agina has. Just 20 rupees there.
Okay, we'll probably see checks. Maybe do the South Shore stuff really fast. Might go off and finish off the stuff that Furaime started on. Looks like damage South Shore for us today.
Yeah, so we'll see some new checks here.
Yep, and then he does have his 500 rupees, so we'll probably see him make his way all the way up to Ice Rod Cave and come back and do some water walking.
There's a single arrow in the dam chest. And just a piece of heart under the water. And let's see what Mini Moldworm Cave has. Those Moldworms not cooperating with checks, so I'll just have to take them down with the sword. Hey, there's some flippers. And a mirror. So, you know what that mirror often means in Overworld glitches?
Pyramid.
Yeah, we can see some trolley moon pearls. Since that mirror opens up a number of locations in the Dark World, including Pyramid Fairy and Pyramid Ledge.
Skull Woods, chess game, C-shaped house.
Yeah.
Turtle Rock.
Yep. And there's a second sword in Ice Rock Cave.
Still can't do anything with our pendant or crystal dungeons yet. I think we'll see Chex do the pyramid to Hyrule. Well, looks like he's going up to Sahasrara, possibly dip into Pendant Eastern since it is a pendant for some quick early checks.
Well, that is not a clip I've seen before, but it's a pretty cool one. Going off the edge of the map and then coming back on and making his way up to Eastern. Now, this looks like one of those clips that seems really dangerous. If you move just a little bit in the wrong direction, you can hard lock your game.
Once you make it to that screen with the portal, you are... there is some soft lock potential while you still have the desert side loaded, but once you scroll up You just have messed up graphics at that point.
Alright, is Chex gonna dip into Eastern here, or is he gonna go up towards Zora?
Zora it is.
Doing these clips takes quite a bit of knowledge to know not just how to do them, but how to do them safely. Because when you screw up the graphics like that, it's just so easy. Again, you have to know where you can go to avoid those hard locks.
Yeah, so whenever you're clipping around, you get some of these random screens, and you enter these screens from non-intended direction. You see where like the screen transitions would normally be, and nothing to lock the camera in place quite yet. In most instances, if you cross these transitions and the camera's not in the right position, you do get that hard lock.
Furaime finding a flute in the basement of here, decides to pick it up. The flute is, in Overworld glitches, is never required. It's only really a convenience item to help you get around a little faster, but it is not required for Misery Mire because we can just clip in there instead.
I wonder where oh, he's going up to Death Mountain from here. This is an interesting series of clips and hops.
Yeah, this one's called the Zora DMA, or Zora Death Mountain Ascent.
Oh no. Oh, never mind. Forgot how that ended.
Yeah, I think he's got it all right here.
Yeah, at this point he's just trying to find the cave to enter to reset his camera.
And he
As well
makes
as
it into Spiral Cave. Yeah, that is definitely one of the more complicated ways to get up Death Mountain. Furaime saving that old man.
very important to save the old man in glitch mode, since your glitchless access to Dark World tends to be fairly late in most seeds.
And it looks like Furaime is going for Pyramid Fairy, potentially, here. Chexhuman, meanwhile, checking out Paradox Cave.
Yep, he's definitely walking in the direction to set up for that. Doesn't have an activated flute, so we'll need to...
Oh, there's our Moon Pearl in Paradox Cave. So the Moon Pearl was relatively free this time. So this is a common route to do the Pyramid Fairy. You go down to the clip down to the graveyard ledge, check that, and then you can jump into the to the pit just over to the right, or this pit, and it will actually, because your camera's screwed up from the clip, it'll actually take you to the Houlihan room.
Oh, we have a bow on the island as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep. And then as far as fixing cameras, like the game is laid out, the underworld is laid out in 2 different maps. Basically all your dungeons and multi-exit caves are loaded into the same map, and then a lot of the single exit caves and shops are all on a different map. If you enter the dungeon stuff, you always reset the camera when you leave that. And then in the case of the graveyard ledge cave, that doesn't fix the camera, so we still have that camera messed up for Houlihan. And nice cane in that chest over there, by Uncle.
Yeah, this has definitely been pretty generous light world.
At this point, I'm not sure if we need hammer or not yet. We definitely need fire rod, and we'll find out shortly if we need a medallion for Meyer.
Well, we'll definitely need hammer for either pod or ice pals.
And swamp.
And swamp.
So, definitely need it. So we're 20 minutes in, only need like 3 items for go mode, 3 or 4.
Yeah, potentially. Depending on, we still haven't had a Dark World map check yet, so it depends on what that last pendant is.
Alright, so we saw a key. I don't remember if we saw the map yet in Hyrule Castle. We have, so there's definitely an item in the middle.
And Furaime is not going to leave that behind.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't, especially with that mirror.
So with the dark rooms, there's a good chance we won't actually be able to see the items. So we'll have to try to get a look at Furaime's menu afterwards. See if we can find anything new in there. Oh, Check's trying to do the Graveyard Ledge clip, but I don't think he got it correctly. So I had to save him quick. And that sounded like it was just cash in the Dark Cross there.
Alright, we get to see what's in Pyramid now.
And it's a whole lot of nothing.
Yep, and then when you enter the Pyramid Fairy this way, this does give you Super Bunny. That's why Furaime was able to check these chests as a bunny.
And half magic on the Pyramid Ledge. Furaime will happily grab that. So Furaime really has to make their way over to East Death Mountain now to get that Moon Pearl. And it does look like that's where they are going. Check's gonna go ahead and activate that flute. And Furaime discovers that bow on Floating Island, so she can try to get that. This is definitely one of the more sort of difficult clips to get if you haven't practiced it.
It's a little bit harder to line up when you actually do have the flippers on this particular one. One of the tricks, at least without flippers, is you find the highest pixel on the top that makes you hop into some kind of water thing, and then go left 1 frame, down 1 frame. Then you're in a nice position to hold up left after you walk right. The mechanics on how this thing works change slightly whenever you have.
Furaime definitely having a tough time with this one. Finally gets it. And able to get back in bounds because there is an invisible ledge there out in the sky.
Meanwhile, Chex does well, he's not out of logic for this check anymore since he does have Moon for a mirror. We do get the Quake out of that.
Chex did do a Dark World map check, but I missed it. I do believe... Okay, we had Turtle Rock as our remaining pendant. I'm not sure what the other 5-6 crystal was, but it doesn't really matter because we have the mirror.
Yep, so... expecting a fairly quick mire just to see what medallion that is.
Yeah, so we now know, yeah, we do need the Fire Rod for Skull Woods. We're going to need a medallion for Misery Mire. And we're going to need the hammer. And that's really it. There's that King of Samaria for Chex. And Furaime is about to grab their Moon Pearl. So at this point, there's actually still no crystal dungeons we can full clear. We can complete Thieves Town, but there might be an item in the big chest that we would need the hammer for.
Yeah, and we still can't really do anything in GT, even though logic might require the 4 chests that are accessible from the beginning.
Yeah, we can get what's on the torch, and we can get the Hope Room, and with the King of Samaria, we can also get the Tile Room. And actually, if the big key happens to be in one of those places, we would be able to actually clear up the top of GT. Yeah. I'm going to start, though, with East Dark Death Mountain. We do see Thieves Town was the other 5-6 crystal. Again, doesn't really matter in this mode, though. And you have the mirror. We're going to get a look at Hookshot Cave now.
So we got bottom number 3 already. Kind of wondering if we'll go ahead and see a Memory Cave Turtle Rock check before we leave. Quick chest in Turtle Rock on the bottom's not too bad of a check. And it's not a strong lead to go anywhere else either.
Yeah, I mean, with that bow, you might be thinking about Pod as a possibility. But it would be really nice to have the hammer first for that.
I think we are going to see that catfish down in the pod. We haven't seen Zora yet from Furaime, so... let's see if Chex heads over to Pod, or if he goes... He's going to... probably Pod.
Yeah, he may do catfish. Oh no, he's going to do Pod. Okay.
Yeah, Chex knows a lot of these fun shortcuts. Let's just go straight to the maze from right there. Fortunately, it's like the one place that you do need hammer is more or less like having to mirror back anyways, or it's not too big of a detour to come back later on with turtle rock clips and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially when you know those shortcuts to get back in there.
I guess logic does technically require the meds. With mirror, we have a fairly easy way into Ice Palace. Oh, there's the meds anyways.
Speaking of. Okay, so with the mitts and the compass, we know all the remaining chests in the front of pod are going to be small keys. And Furaime actually doing that clip down to is actually potentially dipping swamp here.
Has access to exactly one item. And
I mean, I like doing this sometimes, you know, when you looking for that hammer. It's not that long of a check, and plus you can also grab a hint while you're in here.
yeah, I mean, he used this entrance at Bombos requires hammer. I would definitely check out Maya right after this at a hype cave. That'll be a nice end as far as know where you need to go so you can get Maya entry.
Yeah, it also could be our logical entry to Ice Palace, potentially. And just bombs in the front of Swamp. From again, check Hype Cave now. Finding the bug net, but Hype Cave proving to be its sort of usual bunch of junk, really.
Almost thought we were setting up to mirror wrap over to Ice Palace really fast.
Yeah, that I wouldn't advise that with no fire rod or bombos.
Yeah.
Stumpy with the book.
Quite convenient since we're right in the area where we could possibly use it. Looks like he's gonna go straight to Meyer.
Now, we did get a hint earlier that one of the tablets has bombs, I believe.
Yeah.
Ooh, Furaime almost getting stuck. If you jump off in the wrong direction, it'll get you stuck in the wall there. And we see Quake is the required medallion, so we have that. Or at least Chex has it. And there's some powder in Meyer Shed.
Oh, and Chex is in Eastern, checking out what's here really fast. Potential 3 quick items. Let's see what could be on pedestal. Complete the seed. Hammer's not required, so hammer could be on pedestal.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility, and it's really it, because we already have the Meyer medallion. Can't be fire rod. So really just hammer on pedestal. You never know.
Oh, there was that hit that we learned about on one of the tablets. Unless both tablets have bombs.
Furaime going to clip out of Meyer and continue doing more overworld checks.
It would depend on the key layout inside Turtle Rock, whether or not that bomb boost for Turtle Rock is actually required. Functionally, you never actually need that medallion for Turtle Rock to get all the items.
Yeah, unless you use your keys unwisely. Digging game just having some arrows. And Furaime going to use a couple of clips here that will get them up into Village of Outcasts without needing those Titan's mitts. We were just barely not getting off the screen in time for that text box.
I kind of wonder what happens if you transition the same frame as a text box. I'm not sure if I've ever seen something like that actually happen.
Knowing this game, it'll probably be something crazy.
Something fun.
It looks like we do have an item on the Armless Knight, so Chex is going to go ahead and clear that out. Ooh, Tempered Sword for Furaime in the chest game there. And Furaime going to head into the Siege Town now.
Yep, and at least go ahead and grab his first crystal of the game.
Yeah, it finds a lamp. So that is our first fire source. That actually allows us now to complete Desert Palace.
And,
as well as Tower of Hera.
And actually puts what Chexhuman is doing right now in logic. Dark rooms are still not required in Overworld glitch.
Chex with a nice clean armless fight, gets rewarded with a single rupee and a pendant.
We might potentially see Chex go ahead and finish off Meyer with his current equipment. He's got quite a bit of safeties and has bow, so Vitreous wouldn't be too terribly bad.
Yeah, the problem is without a fire source, you're not going to be able to clear the two chests on the left side, so there could potentially be an item or even the big key there.
Yeah, Chex is hopping down to Swamp now. So he definitely won't be running across a fire source before he gets to Meyer.
It looks like Chex is only going to check that hint, not going to go in for that first chest.
Nice little hidden skull right there.
And Chex doing Hype Cave. Some of the checks Furaime already did?
I wasn't paying attention to the item. Sure if we still have another item in here in Thieves Town. Don't know if we've seen the map or compass yet. I think we did see the compass. Great time to chill.
And we do have an item on blind, so I think we're good there. So,
Right. So
map or compass.
So despite our heavy item density starts, we still don't see our first crystal until 38 minutes in.
Yeah.
We're going to see, should be Bumper Cave first, and then dip into Skull Woods. Oh, he needs to check out King's Tomb anyways first.
And Chex was about to clip out a mire, and just changed his mind, decides, you know what, I'm going to dip in here. So we'll see if he ends up leaving an item behind on the firelocked portion.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we haven't really seen much, and we've seen 5 dungeons now? 6?
Yeah, we are starting to get low on places to check. There is still those few items in GT. In fact, with the lamp, we could actually sequence break the firelock side if they really wanted to. But when you're still looking for the fire rod, you kind of don't necessarily want to do that.
Just a hard container on Bumper Lab.
Did we see Skull Woods yet?
No, not yet. This will be our first dip into Skull Woods as seed.
So, first 2 checks of Mire are both small keys, and there's a shovel in Skull Woods. And hey, solar arrows. Very nice.
So we've got both items. So
yeah, that's always nice.
So that leaves GT or T-Rock if we don't see anything in these Mire checks. I don't think we've seen that item yet in Mire, and we don't have the big key either.
And we're getting a pedestal check here from Furaime.
Okay. No big key, so we can't do anything else in...
And that's a red boomerang on the pedestal.
So we still need to see mushroom cashed in. We need to see the powder cashed. Oh, we don't have mushroom yet, do we? Whoops.
Yeah, we can... magic bat definitely could be a thing.
Otherwise, it is off to T-Rock or GT. I guess we can see the top of her if we wanted to. We've only seen... I think it was only one item so far. That was a flute.
Yeah, we can get an ether tablet check first. Nothing there. And it looks like Furaime not going to bother with Hera right now. This might be... Okay, this is going to be a Turtle Rock dip, I think. And Check's actually going to do the Blacksmith Chain. That's another check we haven't seen yet. I'm actually going to do a laser bridge clip here.
Yeah, and depending on key layout, this is... The clip itself isn't in logic, but this area might be.
And Check's going to do a clip to get into the Bat Cave.
Yeah, and he's doing this clip instead of mirroring so he can actually get back to the portal a lot easier.
And just a heart container on the bat. Very healthy seed so far. We're up to 15 hearts already. And we're going to see a purple chest from Chexhuman. So it looks like he's going to leave his mirror portal there and flute away. And that turns out to be nothing. We're now up to Chain Chomp Room and is going to go ahead and check the first chest. Not going to be able to get the Fire Rod Lock side here.
So I think that does indeed place our next item needed in GT in the 6 chests that can be checked. 6? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's be 4 in logic, and then you could also check a few more with the lamp. We also have... No, I was going to say Spike Cave, but that requires the hammer. Yeah, I can't think of too much more that we haven't seen yet. Of course, there is still the top of Hera.
I believe we got 2 items in Desert, didn't we?
I don't recall. But top of Hera definitely could be a possibility, but it's probably a bit quicker just to check GT first.
That's right, we have not seen Dig Spot yet.
And Furaime doing the swamp jump again.
I guess to make it to Dig Spot?
Possibly might be routing this in along with Mire. And Furaime will be able to full clear Mire.
Going straight to Mire. I thought I was gonna back. I was like, hey, I can check travel, but forgot about it for a second.
Yeah.
Actually, I think in Meyer, what Chex left behind, I think, is both items and the big key.
Yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate for him.
I don't remember seeing an item on Chex's trip.
Yeah, I don't think we did see one.
So Firelocked is going to be item big key. Vitreous is going to have an item.
It could also be in the big chest.
Oh yeah, big chest. If the next item needed is in the Firelocked portion of Mario, I wonder if Chex is going to... How soon Chex is going to make his way back.
Well,
Well, be the only crystal dungeon he completes, so...
well,
I
that
wanted
and desert as well, but he can route in Meyer with desert.
Yeah, so it won't be too big of a deal for him.
So there's that big key. Winter is a great time to chill. Our blind pun of the day. Nice fight from Chex. And there's a compass in the big chest, so we're definitely going to have an item in the cutscene chest. And another one on Vitreous.
And Furaime is going to go straight to Vitreous. Never mind.
Yeah, just remembers, yeah, just remember the cutscene chest. Chex, meanwhile, going to be checking out Skull Woods. We, already saw this from Furaime. And with no fire rod, we have to do this the slow way. There's that shovel for Chex.
I imagine we might see the pedestal check from him before he goes away. Nope, he is going to leave.
Did you see that hint in Meyer?
Oh, as I was watching...
It says, oh, there's a hammer. See, so Chex leaving the hammer behind in Meyer. Let's hope he doesn't put that off for too long. But as I was saying, the hint said there was a unique item on the left side of Swamp.
And with that newfound hammer, that gives Furaime access to that particular location.
Yeah, so I imagine Probably we'll see Furaime do this, do desert, and then head over straight to swamp. So with that, we are officially just looking for the fire rod.
Yep, but Bombos on the left side of Swamp does give us access to Crystal Ice Power. Bombos wouldn't be the end of the world either.
Yeah, it could even be required. If the fire rod were in Ice Palace. And Check's actually going to dip GT now. As Furaime heads towards Vitreous. So with bow and silver arrows, this is a very quick, easy fight. And just bombs on Vitreous, so the hunt for the fire rod continues.
Yep, and unfortunately, since Chexhuman doesn't have the knowledge that Fire Rod is the last go mode item, we might see him clear right side GT.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a time sink for him.
Furaime is going to go ahead and clear out, get his Desert Crystal while he's here.
And just a key and Tarum, and ooh, Chex is going to go ahead and clear the right side. So this is unfortunate.
Yeah, so if he happens to find Fire or Big Key on this side, he's not going to...
It looks
Doesn't matter.
He changed his mind, decides not worth the time to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup time. Only really worth it to do that if both Skull Wars and T-Rock is a pendant and you're otherwise in go mode.
Did you just see what just happened on Shaq's side? He just spawned from the Uncle drop down. I don't have any idea why that happened.
Not sure.
I've never seen that happen before.
We'll have to study that a little. Chex does decide to...
Chex didn't have any reaction to it, so maybe he has an idea of why it happened. But wow, I've never seen that. So I know, like, if in Escape, if you take a death, you know, after the Uncle, but before you've rescued Zelda, you will spawn there. But I've never seen it happen. Just in he save and quit from GT, so that was weird.
Maybe that's why he got himself hit right before saving and quitting in the unneeded room in G. No idea.
Yeah. Chex is now heading to the left side of Maya, so this is good.
Yeah, some of the more recently found, or fairly recently found minor glitches, particularly Pookie blocks, is some things aren't only reused whenever they're needed, and it doesn't necessarily clear the value out of memory. So there may be some randomly stored value left over that affected that.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Chex if he has any idea why that happened. So like I said, he didn't react to it at all. Didn't seem confused by it, so he may have seen that happen before. And we are seeing a left side GT here from Furaime. And there's that big key.
Okay, so Fire Rod could be on upper GT now.
There's the hammer for checks.
Actually, I'm kind of mildly surprised that we have a GT play from Furaime. I don't think we saw the Swamp play yet.
No. I guess just going by item density, this is the better play. But when you do have a hint for a unique item, I do tend to follow that. As we see a cape.
I mean, it could also be a truck because we still don't know anything about Mushroom's whereabouts, Ether's whereabouts.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few unique items we still haven't seen, so it could be something useless. So nothing on the left side, GT. We do still have Bob's chest and Ice Armos too.
As well as Big Chest.
And Big Chest, yeah. That's so easy to forget.
And did we see all that? Oh, Furaime should have gone to Big Chest first. Oh well.
Hopefully it doesn't completely forget it.
Yeah. It's like something that you normally don't think about an option, especially in these glitch modes, is if you have the early big key that, and then it's only faster if you actually have the mirror as well. Just to check the big chest before heading down here.
Oh, we get an Ether Medallion and a Mushroom, so
I think that does make left side.
It could still be Bombos. I think it's got to be either Bombos or the Fire Rod because we know the red boomerang is on the pedestal. We saw the single arrow, I believe.
Yep, we did see the single arrow.
We have half magic, I think. Yeah, I think the only unique items left are the Fire Rod and Bombos.
And Furaime does know that pedestal is red boomerang. I mean, so he still needs to defeat Agna. So
yeah, no reason not to do it right now. For checks, we'll see if he decides to go to Swamp first. If he does, and that happens to be Fire Rod, he can definitely save some time over Furaime, due to not having to clear out most of that left side.
Furaime, why is the game some more those arrow drops? I guess, well, arrows aren't too important anymore with the silvers on his side.
Yeah. We still have a few more dungeons to complete before we need to face Ganon anyway. Nice one cycle on Lando.
And Chex is going to go to Swamp.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yep, gonna cash in on that hint, which we know will at least give him Ice Palace access.
Be out one way or another. We're gonna do the dig spot first. So Furaime skipped this.
Yeah, and it was actually quite a long time from the time he got shoveled by the time he came back by this way as well. Could have very well forgotten shovel was obtained.
Yeah, it's one of those things it's easy to forget because it hides behind the flute on your menu. So we got a few chests here. Upstairs GT, there's a bottle with a fairy and a heart piece.
Alright, so what are we looking at? We have the same 2 crystals for both runners right now. Chex is going to be in go mode a bit sooner.
Potentially. Ooh, Furaime taking a hit from Moldon there. Furaime making their way now to Aga 2 as Chexhuman works his way into Swamp.
If anything useful, would have to have been sword number 4. And I see a tempered sword on this fight, so nothing of consequences on that chest. And we still see the blue mail on Furaime.
And Chex is going to go ahead and do that left side first. And good, didn't flood the key.
Yeah. Now forget if the check to, or if the patch to reflood this screen got removed for overworld glitches.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Now, so one thing to note on Furaime's side, well, we do have a bit of lag, but you'll see that once you defeat Aga 2, that opens the hole to the pyramid to Ganon. And you might be asking, why can't Furaime go and fight Ganon right now? Because you still have to get all 7 crystals. If you don't get those crystals, Ganon is invincible, and he'll just stand there and call you names, and you won't be able to kill him. So you do have to get all 7 crystals still, even though you can get to Ganon earlier than that.
And meanwhile, we are going to see if we have bombos or fire rod on this.
And it is Bombos, so the hunt for the fire rod continues. As Furaime now heads into Pod. So I don't remember if there was an item on Helmasaur or not. But I do believe we've seen everything outside of that. There's those Titans met. So Check's now in the back of Swamp, so Firewood could still be back here. There's Red Mail. There's that big key.
I forgot if we saw the compass or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And Check's now taking on Argus.
Gonna barely miss that 0 sec.
Yeah. And there's that compass on Argus, rather, so we got an item in that big chest. I imagine Chex will head back in for that.
Almost left it behind there.
Oh, Furaime has a fire rod.
Oh,
I was wondering why he mirrored out of the dark maze. He has the fire rod. That must have been upstairs GT. Or, I don't know. I'm not sure where he got it exactly. And he may have, yeah, it must have been upstairs GT when he was, having some lag issues. Well, okay, Furaime is in go mode. So, Chexhuman needs to get to GT immediately. And if he wants to have any chance of catching up here, he needs to...
yeah, but that bomb bust is gonna lead him to Ice Palace.
This is really unfortunate for Chex, so... yeah, if he full clears Ice Palace here, this is going to cost him a lot of time. Okay, so Furaime already has GT finished. Is about to finish off Pod. Then just has to go mode Swamp, Skullwoods, and Ice Palace. So this is not going to take very long. That may take him about 10 minutes to finish all these dungeons, and then it just has to go straight to Ganon. So this is looking actually pretty bad for Chex. Especially since, yeah, Chex is about to full clear Ice Palace, so I don't know if there's really any way he can catch up at this point.
Yeah, it would take a massive lock on Furaime's side, and with what he's got left, there isn't too big of a risk on that.
Yeah, especially, I mean, he has those Titan's mitts to get into Ice Palace easily, so there's no reason for him to do a mirror wrap or anything like that. He doesn't need to do any glitches at all, actually, to finish the rest of the seed. And Furaime, I don't know if Furaime didn't activate the flute, or maybe he forgot about it. But either way, it's just going to run to Skullwoods.
Yeah, I don't think Furaime ever activated the flute. Yep. So the big things that did end up, the two plays that ended up costing Chex the race over, the early Mire, the early GT.
Yeah, going to Meyer before getting that lamp definitely hurt him a little bit. But yeah, I think what hurt him more is going to GT before getting the hammer, because he's not had a real reason to go back there yet.
Definitely.
And I think he may be waiting for the fire rod before going back to GT, just in case that big key is on the right side.
Yep, and he is more or less forced to do that bomb jump strat now. And to use the guaranteed key. Wait, hold on. He doesn't need a small key to get there. So you can go straight left side.
Yeah. No, the big key does not require any. It was in the Stalfos room. You don't need any keys to get there.
Yeah. And there was 2 small keys in that same room as well, so he'll be fine on key.
Yeah, but I mean, unless Chex can somehow, Galaxy brain it and like go get the big key and then just go straight upstairs. But there's no way you can do that. You're gonna full clear the left side first. So it's really Furman's race to lose at this point, and he's now got 5 crystals. Just has to do Swamp Palace and Ice Palace. Yeah. Yeah, the way this is going, Furman might actually be finished even before Chex finds that fire rod.
Yeah, and then we haven't seen a Turtle Rock dip from Chex in the seed. So, not sure if he'll do Turtle Rock or dip back into GT.
I would expect him to go to GT. There's a lot more items, a lot more quickly, and it's a required dungeon anyway. I'd be very surprised if he went to Turtle Rock first. Checked.
Yeah, but then Chex will probably remember that he doesn't have an item left in. So we'll probably see that hopefully we'll see that GT play now. Or possibly it's that quick. Wouldn't be bad either way.
And
Oh,
unfortunately, yeah, Check's going into here. I think he's gambling at this point. I think he feels behind, which we know he is. So I don't blame him for this play. I think he's just gambling.
Yeah, especially with the entering two dungeons a little bit too, or mainly the Meyer thing. He doesn't know about the GT thing yet.
He also full cleared Eastern, which turned out to be nothing.
He just wants a coffee break.
Maybe that's it. But there's Ice Piles finished for Furaime, so just Swamp left and then Ganon. Alright, so Furaime entering Swamp. I don't expect him to open a single chest here.
Not at all. The only other thing that Chex could find up here, their second item.
And he's not even gonna go fight Moldon.
Does not opt to gamble on Green Pendant having. Did we see a hint for Hospital?
You know, I think we did actually. Yeah, I think there was a hint that said some arrows held by the village elder or something.
Oh yeah, we did see that one. I remember that one.
And Check says, I think he checked Ped.
And he's going to T-Rock.
Yeah, he's going to T-Rock. This is... I don't blame him for this play. Like, I think he definitely feels behind, and he just wants to gamble. He knows if it's in GT, he thinks he's probably lost already.
Oh, he forgot he has not checked East Death Mountain at all yet.
Oh, that's right. Alright, Furaime now into the back of Swamp as Chex goes through Super Bunny Cave.
We're going to get to see what Mimic Cave is this time. There's our butter sword. Then by the time Chex gets an item checked on here, Furaime will have Argus. We think that Fire Rod was on Moldorm too. We had some drop frames right around that time, so we missed what it was. And that should be the only chest that we missed in that time frame.
There's 7 crystals for Furaime, so just a quick run up to the pyramid is all that's left between Furaime and Ganon.
Yep, and then Temper, Sword, and Silvers will be a pretty fast fight.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of danger, especially with 15 Hearts and Blue Mail.
No, Furaime's not worried about a thing here. Alright, and the fight starts. He takes a bump there, but not a big deal. Gets through phase 1 and 2 pretty quickly. Ooh, down to 3 hearts. Can't take another hit here, but I don't think that's going to be an issue.
And he still has his fairy, even if something were to happen.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Ooh, takes a fire bat hit. Missed the torch glitch, but that's really no big deal. And that is Ganon down for Furaime.
And Furaime does finish off with an official SRL time of 1 hour 24 minutes and 50 seconds.
And we'll see if Furaime wants to come in for an interview or may just join us in chat. And you know, looks like Chex is gonna continue here. So looks like Furaime is not going to join us for an interview, but we will watch Chex continue here. Furaime's official SRL time, by the way, 1 hour 24 minutes and 50 seconds. And that gives Furaime a 1-game to nothing lead. It says a best of 3, so Chex will have to win the next 2 games if he hopes to advance to the finals. And not sure what Chex is going for here. Maybe hammer pegs?
That's a nice way there. Oh no.
Get stuck in the trees.
I couldn't tell if the camera was messed up or he's actually stuck, but looks like
I think he's stuck. Gonna save and quit. We do have our winner though, Furaime, in the chat. GG's Furaime. And yeah, we did have a bit of lag actually. We didn't realize when you picked up the fire rod, but we're guessing it was in upstairs GT. It looks like Chex is now heading into GT. And we're getting word from Furaime that the fire rod, in fact, was in the post-Moldorm chest. So Chex finds the big key. We'll probably clear out the rest of the basement before heading upstairs.
Definitely.
Yeah, Bombos was on left side swamp. By the time Chex was getting there, yeah, that's exactly what Chex did. Chex left side swamp, got the Bombos, went into Ice Palace. Yeah, by the time he got there, we narrowed it down to either Bombos or Fire Rod because we'd seen every other unique item. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, GT definitely. I can see the GT play with having so many more items.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing that happened on Shex's side as well was he did the early Meyer dip without a fire source, and then an early GT dip without the hammer. Led away from where he needed to go.
Yeah, definitely. Chex found the Moon Pearl first, and ended up going into Meyer before having that lamp. Furaime saying going into Turtle Rock actually was a mistake. Meant to go to Meyer with the super jump, but then muscle memoried into Hera, and decided why not just go into TR while we're here. And that was definitely a play I make sometimes, just like accidentally go in the wrong direction. I'm like, okay, might as well just roll with it.
Alright, Chex has cleared out the rest of the bot energy. Since he has big key, he knows nothing else is going to be on the right hand side of GT. Pretty decent gauntlet on Chex's side.
Yep. So after this, Chex did finish Pod, didn't he?
No, not yet.
So we will have to do that and do Skull Woods. It'd be interesting to see how Chex routes this. I know he knows lots of funky glitches to get around the overworld quickly.
I think he has a blue potion. So maybe a fake flute somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see.
I'm not sure if there's any reliable rap from Pods to get back over that direction.
So we do see there were arrows in the pre-Moldorm chest. And there's that fire rod for Chex.
Nope, no rage slash from Jack.
Yeah, Chex is a pretty composed guy. I don't really ever see him rage at all.
Yeah, and he knows this is the nature of the game as well. So within 20 minutes, the seed gave us everything except 3 items, the last 3 items needed for go mode. And then we had 40 minutes of looking for the other, those last 3.
Yeah, that seems to happen a lot in overworld glitches. Because I guess just because there's so many items that you can get so quickly with all the glitches, and then finding those last few just takes a while. Ooh, this is an interesting route here. Is this going to go to Pod?
I don't know where he's going. Skull Woods.
Okay. Well, Chex is full of neat tricks.
This is
Oh,
why.
wow.
This is why he's finishing the run anyway.
Oh, I thought he was going to get into the back of Skull Woods without even opening it, but
Well, I mean, if he had that kind of trick in mind, I think he would skip the fire rod at that point.
true.
But
Didn't
unfortunately,
even think of that.
of course, I'm not sure. It's like if you wrapped it around, if it would actually bleed any of the barriers. Unfortunately, until you actually destroy this entrance with the fire rod, the entrance doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with mine. It's like there's some nice glitches, some nice indoor glitches, so you can get to Mire from, say, like Eastern and a few other dungeons. But in order to get some of these other items, you have to have the correct dungeon load. And unfortunately, you couldn't just exit out of Mire and walk back in like you would a bunch of other dungeons. Martha hanging out on the spikes on Chex's side. Image overwritten.
He's getting the mirror out. So you may be just going to go to pod the vanilla way here. Might be the fastest since he does have that flute activated.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can actually clip through inside the Skull Woods area.
Yeah, I know there is a clip to get to the pod entrance, skipping that whole maze thing. Let's see if he tries to do that. In fact, the clip actually works even if you don't have the Moon Pearl, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
Yep,
looks
he's
like
lining up for it.
he's going to go for it. Yeah, this one I think was actually fairly recently discovered that you could actually get into pod without the Moon Pearl using only Overworld glitches. I mean, the way to get into pod using there's a glitch in the underworld you can do called the Kiki skip, which can get you into pod, and that one's been known for a long time. But I think this one has been fairly recently discovered.
I'm actually surprised the portal actually activates that way. Well, I guess it does make sense. It goes by that global position on the portal, but we're still in the pod entrance screen.
Question in chat: when is the next game? It is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. I believe you can do the OWG command to see the schedule. I'll type it in chat here. Yeah, there's a link to the schedule there.
Yep, and if Chex does win tomorrow's nights, Game 3 will be on Monday. And just like that, Chex does have his final crystal. Too bad there's no way to actually clip out of the maze. So mirroring and fluting back to the portal right below is unfortunately a little bit faster than the long way around. Alright, we've got cannon fight going, gold sword, be pretty easy. A little bit of extra time to mess around during this. Phase 3 already. Last in until phase 4. Double for cycle 2, and then fit number 4. And GG's to Chexhuman. He only had the 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 chests left to check. In other words, a full clear of the seed. So, still sub to pretty solid time for a full clear seed. And we are going to get him in for an interview. Does finish up with an full SRL race time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 56 seconds. And as always, he never fails to show us all the fun tricks, even within Overworld glitches, and something that would never ever be required for logic, but it's always a pleasure to see. And we are joined by Chexhuman. GG's.
Sorry. GG.
So, that was a seed.
Yeah. Seemed pretty normal.
Yeah, so looks like the two main things that did cost you the most time was the early Mire and the early GT.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, Furaime didn't have the Quick Medallion yet, but when he checked the Mire Medallion, so he didn't have that option for that early dip.
Yeah.
So had that lantern from Thieves' Town, that I think, by the time he made it that way. Which had that hammer that let him go to left side immediately.
Uh-huh. Did he go to left side and get bombas for ice?
Yeah, he did not go for that bait to Swamp Palace.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, so he did get to go mode both Ice Palace and Swamp Palace.
Oh, okay. Did Furaime explore Eastern Pod?
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
He did end up exploring T-Rock. He mentioned in chat earlier that he meant to do a super jump and go down and check Mire, except fix his camera instead after the hair clip. So I decided just to go ahead and hop into T-Rock while in that position rather than reload.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So that was an interesting jump from the pyramid to Skullwoods.
Oh yeah, thanks. It's used in low percent all dungeons Pearl. It's the way to get from the Dark World to the light world without a mirror, because you can hula hand. I dodged a hole to get into Skull Woods, but if you fall in the hole, then you go to Chris Houlihan room and then to the light world.
Now that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that run. I didn't know that was even listed at one point.
Yeah, it's a quality category extension.
Low pursuit without mirror. That... Wow.
Right. It skips mirror. It skips flippers. It skips... No, it doesn't skip flippers. It skips the mitts and some other stuff.
Interesting. I need to check that out. I need to check that out sometime this weekend.
Yeah. Totally. The more runners, the better. Or even viewers.
And I've been telling myself I need to de-rest some all dungeons recently.
Right. And it's mirrorless, and there are some shenanigans to get into to Swamp. And it involves despawning the old man. So, but that's all I'm going to say about that. That's the highlight, really.
I'll definitely check this out. Let's see. Didn't check pedestal. That does have the red boomerang.
Since I was just looking for Fire Rod, I figured it would not be on pedestal since Turtle Rock was a pendant.
That's right. Well, for Rami to check that out, he was still missing the hammer at that point. Which would have been a fun pedestal if that was the case.
Yeah. Possible.
And then what prevented you from deciding to go back to GT after getting that hammer immediately after?
Because of all the stuff I'd done, I knew I would have lost. In fact, I feel that 124 is a time that I wouldn't even be able to do just if I were routing this normally. So I had to take chances regardless, and so I had to keep on increasing the chances until it just, I couldn't even consider something normal like Ganon's Tower at that point. So oh well.
Only 175 item. Thought you checked a lot more than that.
Yeah, but didn't check right side GT or Turtle Rock.
Let it in.
I missed Hobo and Hammer Pegs and Mushroom. And yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a fun little thing that you did. You tried to get to hammer pegs at least.
Yeah, that should have worked, but I don't know what happened.
I wasn't sure if the camera was just offset, so wasn't sure if you were stuck at first.
Right. It was just like a bummer. I figured that out after one of my last tourney races. And it should work. It's just the swim didn't work for some reason, and I don't know why, because that always works, except for this time.
Yeah. We do kind of need to wrap up. We do have SMB1 coming up in 4 minutes. So be sure to stick around for that. That's a fun little tournament. It is one of our first few tournaments that SpeedGaming has partnered with Maturino for some prize pool. There's some merchandise and some t-shirts and stuff that you can order for that t-shirt or for that tournament. It does go towards a prize pool for them. SMB Warpless is a pretty fun category to watch. So be sure to stick around for that all. And thanks to Chexhuman and Furaime for this fun seed. We are looking forward to tomorrow's match. That was 10 p.m. I think I saw.
Yes. Looking forward. And thanks for commentating, JC.
Sure thing, sure thing. Alright everybody, thanks for watching and enjoy yourself some Super Mario Brothers.